I might have something to show you guys. Yeah, can we switch this over? Let's switch this over quickly. Switch this over quickly to the intro scene. There it is. Okay, it's reversed because of the way I have my webcam. There it is. It's Valkyrie profile. Previously viewed hot deal for $19.99, because that's how I got all of my games back in the day. Is pre-used from the rental store after they'd sell their old copies of games to clear shelf space. Yeah, here it is, Valkyrie profile. Previously viewed hot deal for $20. This game goes for several hundreds of dollars these days. One of the more valuable PS1 games. We got different colored discs with pictures of Valkyrie on them. Fucking green screen's fucking up. You know, let's just get rid of the green screen. Let's just get rid of the green screen so I can show this off properly. There we go. No green screen. There it is. Valkyrie profile. That's disc 1. There's our manual.
I'm so sorry. Your clothes,
with an ad for Bust a Groove on the back. It's full color.
Girl. How dare you splash water on a guest?
Full color manual. Here, can we get some music? We've seen this scene already. Or at least you guys saw this scene. I didn't see it because I was up getting a drink. Oh yeah, you guys can't even see this because the scene is changed. Let's go to sound mode. Because we got a sound test in this game. This is a good one. I like this track. Eternal Hydrogen Anxiety. Yeah, full color manual. Can we get a page with some good artwork on it? Like a characters page with some character art? No, this manual is actually pretty dense. It's small print too. Look at that. Look at that tiny print. This manual is densely packed with information about the various game systems, which I guess it has to be, because this is a very unusual RPG. It requires a fair bit of explanation. Voice from Valhalla by Freya. We got little Freya pro tips here for you guys. You guys can't see any of this, can you? It's probably too small on the webcam. Valkyrie profile. Good shit. Valuable game. Do I ever try to flip my collectibles? No. So, I don't know. I should have. A while back, I had a much larger collection of games, and I was trying to free up space. I was moving into a smaller apartment, and I was trying to free up space. So I just sold off almost all of my old games. We can go back to the game now. Sold off almost my entire collection, except for a select few precious items that were either worth money or had personal significance to me. Is that showing up right? Yeah, there we go. So, Valkyrie Profile actually wasn't among them. I was actually going to get rid of Valkyrie Profile along with the rest of my gaming collection. Then, in the midst of making the deal, it was kind of an irritating process. I got a lot of bids. Basically, I didn't realize. I just sold it on Kijiji to some local people. Got a lot of bids. It was actually kind of annoying because like people did the thing where it's like, I'll give you $300. I'll give you $301. I'll give you $302. Like going up by like, $5 at a time. It was kind of annoying. So at one point, some guy said, at one point another guy I was dealing with got annoyed too, and he just said, fuck it, I'll give you X amount of dollars. I think it was like 600. I think it was like $600 for the whole lot. And I said, sure, fuck it. It'll be nice to have the whole thing done with. I didn't find out until when we were in the midst of making the deal that I undervalued large portions of my collection, particularly the GBA stuff. I valued my GBA carts at like $5 to $10 because that's what I bought them for. Back in the day, I didn't think anyone cared about GBA games. So I valued the GBA carts at about $5 to $10 each. That was reflected in the total price of the lot. It turns out that GBA carts are somewhat valuable these days. Like even loose carts with no box go for many, many times more than $5 a pop. So really, if I had like pieced it out individually and tried to sell them online, my whole games collection was probably worth, I don't know exactly how much, but several times more than $600. Probably on the order of a couple thousand, probably like close to 3,000. And I sold it for 600 to probably some collector douchebag. But in the midst of making the deal, I checked the prices of some of the games that were in there, and I noticed that Valkyrie Profile was like, oh, this is like a $300 game. No, you're not getting that. I think he tried to like barter with me too. It's like, oh, well, that reduces the value of this significantly. I'll give you $400 for the lot. Then it's like, no, you're getting all this for $600. You're getting a fucking bargain. Take it or leave it. And that's the story of how I got rid of almost my entire video game collection for chump change. Also, hey Nissan, glad you could make it. Glad you could make it. Let's start this shit up. I'm not gonna bother starting the timer. Not gonna bother starting the timer. It is 12 o'clock. Midnight right now, so we'll be done at 2 a.m. Do we want to go easy, normal, or hard? Let's go hard mode. It doesn't matter, because we're unlikely to make it out of the first dungeon within the next 2 hours. Lots of cutscene viewing for the first little bit here. Like, I don't even feel bad about it. I could have got more money, but it would have taken a lot more effort. Oh yeah, so we're playing the PSP version. I made that choice because I hear that it has some improvements. I like the widescreen format, and I don't know, it's different. And I'm kind of curious to see how it's different. I could play the PlayStation version if you insist. I do have the PlayStation version on my computer. So we could do that one if you really, really want to, Nissan. Oh, you're curious as well. Good. Perfect. We can find out together what this one's like. I tested it out a little bit, and it seems exactly the same as the PlayStation version, from what I can remember. They replaced the shitty anime opening. So yeah, you guys saw that that FMV opening. Originally, that was anime style. It was hand-drawn anime, like an anime video. But the anime was like really bad. Like the detailing on the characters was really low quality. The video itself was filled with a bunch of nonsense that's not in the game. The characters were all off-model and looked totally different from the way they do in the game. Like, almost all of them had the wrong hair color.
How nostalgic.
There were a bunch of monsters that don't appear in the game. It was a really strange opening. So I feel like losing the anime intro and replacing it with a... They basically replaced the shitty anime intro with a somewhat decent CG intro, which I feel like is a step up. Look at this sprite art, man. I might have to take back what I said about Freedom Planet having the best 2D sprite art in video game history. That award might actually go to this game right here that we're playing right now. It's so much more ambitious too, with like the scale of some of the scenes. Especially, we'll see some big dramatic moments. Actually, you guys have seen some of that already. The field of flowers, the field of poisonous flowers, in the scene with Platina in the intro. Gorgeous scene. And then we see a callback to that right here. Did you guys figure out the secret yet? Did you guys figure out what that intro scene has to do with the main story? If not, it's fine. If not, it's fine. I won't spoil it for you. We won't... What ending are we going for? I guess we'll go for the good ending. Like, we don't have to decide that yet. If we're going for an ending, it'll be like 4 or 5 viewers' choice days before we have to make that decision. Like, it'll be like a good 12 hours, or probably close to 8 hours into the game before we start having to play differently to go for the different endings. Unless you want to see C ending. We can get the C ending today if you want to. We're playing already. Actually, we might not be able to get the C ending today, to be honest. I'm actually not sure that we'll get in control in time to actually see the C ending.
Welcome to Valhalla.
You seem as if you're waiting for someone.
This is such a weird scene. She's like all formal, she acts like she doesn't even know us, and then yay! Glomps.
Of course. I've been waiting for you, Lenneth. I've been waiting since my sister Freya told me you were coming back.
Frey is so adorable here. I wish she had a bigger role in the game. This is almost the only time you see her.
Has it been that long? Are you well?
Yes!
Yes!
Oh, Lord Odin is waiting for you within.
Of course. We will speak later, Frey.
She says that, but we won't. We won't. Her sister's gonna take us right down, right straight to Midgard, and we're never gonna see her again. That's actually not true. Our Einherjar, we'll get to chat with her a little bit as we send them up to Valhalla. But yeah, Lenneth's done with her. This is such a gorgeous, just epic intro here. It's like one of those games where, like, right from the first, like, 30 seconds of just seeing the intro, you know.
I am here, Lord Odin, at your service.
Stand, Lenneth. You have no need to kneel before us like a dweller in Midgard.
That's a good point. Why am I dressed like a peasant?
I understand.
Oh, the voice work in general in this game. Not Odin's particularly good, I agree. Actually, I like Surt as well. Surt lazy bitch. Teleports down like 5 steps.
I rejoice to see you again.
More like
You
lazy
have missed-
animators, I guess.
And you.
It's like, do we really want to draw Freya walking downstairs for 2 seconds? That's never going to be used in the rest of the game.
Greatest of the 3 goddesses who govern destiny without good cause.
Yes, my lord.
The
The head
greatest.
of Mimir has told me that
The
Ragnarok,
greatest of the
end
3
of
goddesses
the
who
world,
govern
draws near.
destiny. The head of Mimir. I didn't know this at the time.
There have been signs.
The head of
unrest
Mimir
among the Vanir of late.
is literally a severed head.
It seems that we, the Aesir,
Like,
will not
as a
be able
kid,
to avoid war.
I had envisioned the head of Mimir as like the head of the Mimir Council or something. They're like the leader of something. No, the head of Mimir is like the severed head
You
that
shall
serves
journey
as
to
the
Midgard,
oracle
the world below,
for
and
Norse
search
mythology.
For suitable human souls.
It's like almost the equivalent of the Fates in Greek mythology.
It is my honor, Lord, to serve you.
I didn't know it at the time, but I've kind of learned a bit of
I
Norse
expect
mythology since
great
then.
Things from you.
Odin's got high expectations, guys.
Freya?
We better not disappoint him. Otherwise, we'll get the C ending.
Yes, my lord.
The fuck? So this scene is completely new. This scene is completely new. There was actually no anime after the intro. There was like no FMV, no CG, no anime, nothing outside of the intro in the original game. Whoa. Whoa, that's a bit risque, don't you think? cutting a bit close to the coochie there, aren't we? This graphical style is, I think, identical to the sequel to this game, Valkyrie Profile Silmeria on the PS2. The CG scenes in that game looked the same, but yeah, that was just a little sprite animation in the original game.
You have but recently awakened, and it would be unkind of me to
I think it
send
just
you
plays
away.
the same animation as when she does her Nibelung Valesti attack, where she just grows the wings. Well, anyways, that line that Odin said about Lenneth being the greatest of the goddesses who govern fate or whatever, I feel like that's him throwing some shade on Hrist there. Like, Silmeria is captured, so she's out by default. Like, Silmeria is out of the running for greatest of the goddesses of fate at this point in the story. She's stuck inside a crystal, kidnapped by a vampire. Hrist is the only other one who's active, so it's like, hey, Lenneth, you're way better than Hrist. I've got a job for you. Am I gonna get Disgaea 6 as soon as it's out? Yes. Yes, I am. That's not coming out, like, next week or anything, is it? If it's coming out next week, I might not. If it's coming out before we're finished Berwick Saga, then I won't play it right away. It's very soon? Fuck. I thought we had till July. This is an interesting line here. Does it remind you of anything? Speaking of which, does Valkyrie's appearance... Interestingly enough, again, a bit of artist laziness here. Valkyrie's human form, where she's in kind of the peasant gown when she first approaches Odin, does not have a portrait. She only has a character portrait when she puts on the Valkyrie armor. Does she look familiar, guys? Does this girl look like someone we've seen before? Right before the title screen? It's like they're not even trying to hide Valkyrie's backstory here. It's just the specific connection won't be revealed until later. Also, the stuff she's saying here kind of confirms that, like, yeah, Valkyrie doesn't know about her past life here. Although Freya here seems to be worried that she might, or seems to be testing whether she remembers anything or feels some nostalgia. You see in the intro that she actually does. She sees the field of flowers and she says, how nostalgic. It's like her memories are starting to come back. We'll see a bit... I think the story and, like, the script in this game is so good. There's so many, like, little subtle bits of foreshadowing and character development and such in the script like that. I haven't mentioned it yet since we started this game up, but this is one of my favorite RPGs. Like, probably in my top 3. I mean, almost certainly in my top 3. It's like Grandia, Suikoden 2, and this. This is up. We're playing, like, all my favorite, or not all my favorite games, but several of my favorite games today. Like playing my number 1 favorite 2D platformer, Freedom Planet, and then, like, my top 2nd or 3rd favorite RPG, Valkyrie Profile. This is cool. So this is important. I should be talking about this and not talk... I guess I'm not talking over anything because there's no voice acting. This is important. This is where Freya explains the premise of the entire game. We gotta close our eyes and open our heart. Open your heart. It's gonna be alright. Or however it goes. So press the start button to begin spiritual concentration. She looks like Patina. Oh, Saturn's got it. Saturn's figured out the secret. Good job.
think it's foolish, brother, because you're content with what you have.
You're wrong.
What the fuck is going on here? Hearing voices in my head, people screaming about monsters, and it hurts, and what the fuck is any of this? This game's a trip, man. Yes. That would probably be my reaction too if I started hearing voices like that in my head. Yes. Do you hear it? What is this? That is Valkyrie's power. The power to hear the sorrow, anger, and hopes of humans near death. The power to hear their souls cry out. It is your task to take the souls of those chosen departed within yourself. This is the crucial line right here. I am to search amongst the souls of the departed for those worthy to become heroes, and that's the premise of the game. For anyone who knows a bit of Norse mythology, the Valkyries were the choosers of the slain, the ones who would pluck the souls of fallen warriors from Midgard, the surface world, and take them to Valhalla and to prepare them for the final apocalyptic war of Ragnarok, and that's what we're doing here. The Valkyrie is the chooser of the slain. In this game, the Valkyries are also the fighters of like evil and corruption down on Midgard. That's the way that we train our Einherjar. That's what they call the chosen dead warriors, is the Einherjar. So that's what the game is about. We're gonna find these fallen souls who are worthy to become heroes, add them to our party, and then train them up by running through dungeons and fighting undead and demons and various types of grisly ghosts and such on the surface of Midgard. Midgard's a fucked up place. That's one of the things that I like about this game. It's like Valkyrie is kind of hovering above all this. Like, there's a world map in this game, but you don't like walk around on the world map. You fly above it. Like, Valkyrie's above all this. She doesn't descend. She doesn't deign to involve herself in mortal affairs that much. Maybe she will later on. Maybe we'll see her involve herself later on. But mostly she just watches these people die and then claims their souls after the scene is over. And from what scenes we will see, the glimpses that we do get into life down on Midgard, yeah, kind of a horrible place. The world building in this game is, like, it's not brilliant. There's not a lot of detail. It's just like little glimpses into like the different kingdoms, the day-to-day life of these people living and dying down here, and like it's kind of a dismal picture. It's like the bits that we see is all people dying like tragic and heroic deaths. So that's all we get to see of Midgard, is people dying tragically. It's just like one tragic death after another. You witness a tragic death, you add the tragically dead person to your party, and then you run a dungeon. That's the flow of the game. This is the battle system right here, but it's not really a real battle. We don't have access to any of the real combat systems just yet. Those health bars don't look right, but can we fix this? Can we fix this? Or maybe the PSP version is just different. Yeah, we definitely want nearest neighbor filtering. Definitely linear. I thought I set this up, but I didn't notice the health bars before. I'm guessing it's just how it is on the PSP version. We'll leave it for now. This game's got an interesting battle system. It's very simple, but yeah, we won't really get to play around with it until much later. This game got some long scenes, mainly the intro here, I think, is a bit overlong. But I think this is one of those games that's fairly economical with its writing. Like, they managed to tell some decent stories with not too much dialogue, I think. Weirdly enough, it's only at the very beginning and the very end of the game where I think they go a bit overboard. Like, we see a lot here from Arngrim and his brother and everything else that they're gonna set up here. What's the point of art? Why can't he sell it? Is Roland like a shitty artist or something? Why can't he sell it? I guess that's maybe the kind of society that they live in. Like, whatever kingdom this is such a shithole that either nobody cares about art or nobody has the money to waste on it. Or maybe Roland is just a shitty painter. He doesn't want to go to war and kill people. He just wants to draw his happy little trees. This is a fun line right here. Like, most of these conversations are done just to set up the characters. Like, they're not talking about anything important here. This is purely a character moment to set up who Arngrim is. He's kind of... I don't know. We'll talk about Arngrim throughout the playthrough, I guess. He's like, yeah, I don't do it for money, I just do it for fun. I mean, I make money, but I mostly do it for fun. I like killing people. There's a bit of weirdness with the translation in this game. You kind of have to, like, read between the lines. You get some weird exchanges like this. It's like, hey, why do you like art anyways? You think it's foolish because you're content with what you already have. Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense as a response. Like, that's not a direct response. I think he's going to elaborate here. Yeah, for me, drawing pictures has always been a way for me to escape the confines of this frail body of mine. There's a lot of this kind of thing where there's like weird little conversations in the midst of these dramatic death scenes. Oh yeah, so there's a statue there. Okay, so we're going to see a flashback in a second here. You get a present for killing the most people in battle. Or I guess in this case, the most harpies. That's an interesting... Man, this game is so cinematic at times. I never noticed that. The way he picks up the scepter there. You hear the little noise and then he picks up the scepter. You might not catch what's going on here, but then it'll become clear later on. Man, God, the scenes in this game are just so good. I actually never noticed that. So you get a hint of it here, but what just happened is that she threw her scepter across the room, and this dude here, Lombard, is just picking it up and scolding her for losing her temper. They don't show her throwing the scepter, but it begins with the black and the noise and him picking the scepter up off the ground. You might not catch that that's what's happened there, but we'll see that come back at the end of the scene, and it'll become clear exactly what's going on here. So this is Princess Forehead right here. She's going to be another long-standing member of our party. She's pissed off about a boorish mercenary. Good face incoming? Or is that this face right here? It's like the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Oh, Lombard is going to take care of everything. Like, even apart from her portrait, look at her sprite. Girl's got so much forehead. Girl's got like a bigger receding hairline than I do. And there she goes again. She throws it across the room again. Same sound effect. I don't know. It's a dumb little thing, But like, there's so many little subtle bits like that to like the way the scenes are set up in this game. Things that you are meant to infer, little revelations that the game delays on you just a little bit. I don't know, the way that the cutscenes the way the story scenes are directed in this game is very artful, I feel like. Barbarians, more like harpies. I guess barbarians might have harpies on their side. Oh, greatest warrior, Sir Arngrim. Is he that great, really? He was doing the same amount of damage as Lawfer in that last fight. Although I'm sure mercenary taste is no different than that of a barbarian. I'm actually, to this day, a little bit confused by this scene here. I don't know if that's meant to be an aside, like the king whispering to Arngrim to show him disrespect, or if this is internal monologue here, like them silently, like if this is showing them like just silently seething at each other and just like showing us their unexpressed hatred. Also, I like that line. I like that line. I thank you from the bottom of the gaping void in my soul. I'm gonna have to remember that. I need to use that sometime. Next time I get a gift or something. Thank you from the bottom of the gaping void in my soul. I think the way I interpret it is that this is like their internal monologue. Like just showing us, the viewer, how much they hate and disrespect each other. Because there's no asides or like if they were silently whispering to each other or something, there's the mask is off here. Like they're not hiding their contempt for each other at this point. Or at least Arngrim's not. I ain't got time for this shit. This is pretty audacious. Like, in front of the king? It's like, Arngrim's got balls. $10,000 deaths aren't enough for you. Oh, I forgot about that. The king shaking his fist there, too. That sprite is never reused. I don't think we see that king ever again for the rest of the game. So, like, him shaking his fists there, we see that on screen, on the corner of the screen for, like, a quarter of a second, and they animated that. Oh, Jolanda's got a plan. Here we go. Here we've got Jolanda's best face incoming. Again, I don't think they ever use this portrait ever again. I think this is only on, maybe once later on. I think they've reused this portrait once for one line. I've got just the idea. Oh, we get to play as Arngrim a little bit here. Oh yeah, so Valkyrie can walk. Valkyrie has variable walking speeds, but for some reason Arngrim doesn't, even though he has a walking animation. That's always weirded me out just a little bit. How do I talk? Maybe I can't talk to him. Oh, there we go. Oh, Arngrim living the layabout life here, just hanging around the house all day. That's right, Arngrim doesn't have time for this crap. Arngrim does not have time for this farce. He's got places to go, even though he's apparently just hanging around the house all day. Oh, who's this lady? Little Miss Forehead here. Her head looks even more like an egg in this with this portrait. Angela? Yeah, I mean, no. Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, Angela. I've seen people say that this is like an instance of, like, Clark Kent glasses disguise here. Like, how the fuck does Arngrim not recognize her? It's so obvious. Like, how the fuck does he not know it's her? It's obviously the same girl. She's got a bonnet and glasses. It's so obvious. I like to think that he just didn't even notice her when he was in the throne room. Like, his attention was focused on the king. Like, he just didn't even look at her in that last scene, so he wouldn't recognize her here. Although I think he does recognize her later on, so maybe I'm wrong about that, but still. So, where are we going? Let's go to one of those restaurants. Like, maybe she means like one of those restaurants, like one of those restaurants over there. But I think the idea is that she means like one of those whatchamacallums, places where people eat the food. Yeah, restaurants. A fine establishment. Oh, look at this. We got like a pagoda-style building here, too. We're going for sushi. To the Nanlo Garden. The only gourmet Yamato-style restaurant in Artolia. So we don't exactly get an in-depth look at the different kingdoms of Midgard. But we do get little glimpses of them. And there is another kingdom that's basically Japan land. Yeah, where the music is all like this. Some of the character sprites are reused. I don't think the portraits are. Like, this portrait, I don't think shows up anywhere later in the game. This sprite might in the, I forgot what it's called, but the Japanland town that we'll visit later on. The random townspeople walking the street, I actually don't know if we'll see those sprites reused. I'll take this, and this, and this. Oh, the portraits, yeah. This, and one of these. Oh, Arngrim's impressed. Arngrim's just like, oh. Look at that face. Arngrim had never seen such shit in his life. Whoa, are you gonna eat that? He can't wait. It's like, I can't wait to see this. Actually, I forgot about this. I like that line. Why would I? I'll just have what I want and leave the rest. That's such a princessy line. That's such a princess thing to say. It's like, whatever. I'll just have them make me one of everything. I'll eat what I want, and then they can throw out the rest. I love that walking animation. Like, the way with her kimono and the sandals, that looks great. To be honest, I find this scene a little bit confusing as well. Like, to this day, I have no idea what Jolanda's scheme is here. Wow, she's got like 4 bentos stacked on top of each other here. Oh god, Arngrim's reaction here. Whoa! Don't act like such a spoiled princess. I have no idea what she thought she was planning here. I don't think we ever actually get to see what Jolanda's evil plot was. I like to think that whatever her original plan was, she's just like so distraught by the sushi incident here that she completely forgot what she came here to do. Also, Gordon Ramsay moment right here. It's fucking raw! But miss, that is called sashimi. Classic Yamato cuisine. The sprites are fucking up here. Miso soup! I had some miso soup just today. A staple of Yamato cuisine. Oh, is he trying to serve her squid? Oh, octopus! Why would you not eat monsters? That's something you don't see much in RPGs. There's like all these exotic creatures all over the place. All these different types of monsters. But what do they taste like? Actually, you see that in some games. Like in Star Ocean, you can cook like grilled... What do they call them? Rabbite? No, that's Secret of Mana. Whatever. You can cook the monsters in Star Ocean. Never been insulted in my entire life. Oh, she just quaffed the sake. Oh, she just guzzled the sake. Look at her I never actually took a good look at this portrait. Look at that face. Look at that face. Oh, you have a new Iron Chef series on Netflix. Cool. Iron Machine was as big so we could hide under the table. Yep. Oh yeah, you know what? I actually have a Valkyrie profile manga, too. 10,000 deaths are not enough for you. Where have we heard that before? Wow, that was fast-acting sake right there. I suppose almost all of these portraits... Again, impeccable setup for that scene. Just with like the comedic timing on the "your bill, sir" after she passes out. It's great. I love the way these scenes are set up. And now he recognizes her. So all that stuff I said before about him not looking at her was bullshit. Princess Jella. A little bit of stuttering here. Well, well, well. Oh yeah, this is where we get to see his brother's gimpy leg too. So again, that thing where like they allude earlier to his like talking about his weakness and being confined to his home, and now we see right there. I don't think they even explicitly make reference to like his brother being a cripple or whatever, but like just that little bit there, we get to see him walk with the gimpy leg, and now we know what he was talking about earlier, about being confined to this frail form. Like, they don't waste time with a lot of unnecessary dialogue explaining stuff when they can just show it to you. Da-da. Da-da-dooba-dub. Dub-dub. Wow, she's like having dreams about beheading Arngrim or something. Arngrim sits down, another elaborate sprite animation that I don't think is used anywhere in the rest of the game. They put so much effort into this intro scene.
I insulted that girl's father right in front of her. Of course, I didn't mean to.
I like this line here. I didn't mean to insult him.
I just wanted to show what a gutless coward the king is.
I didn't mean to insult him. I just wanted to show all of his subjects what a gutless coward he is.
What I did wasn't wrong. But a daughter can't help but love and honor her own father. Is there any child that would not feel anger at seeing their sire made a fool of?
Yeah, the game's actually not entirely consistent with this, but they do seem to have voice acting for internal monologue a lot more often than for like dialogue between two characters. So that scene almost feels pointless. Like you might, and I don't know, it's a little bit of weird storytelling here. You might think they're trying to set something up, like there's some sort of plot afoot, like this is going to develop into something, but it spoiler alert, it really doesn't. This is really just a character building moment for Arngrim and Jolanda. And a lot of the story scenes in this game unfold like that, where like you don't quite know what's gonna happen or how things are going to unfold. Like they'll throw out little red herrings. There'll be like little scenes where like it looks like something might develop out of a thing that's taking place on screen, but then something else happens, and it turns out that the real death was something else unrelated that happens later on, or something that they set up earlier. It's like you never know what's gonna happen. It's like I said, how we're like the whole premise of the game is seeking out. This confused me as a kid. I thought that this was Jolanda with a better disguise here. Like with the hood over the face. It's a little bit reminiscent of her bonnet and everything. The first time I played this game, I thought this was Jolanda with a better disguise, and it's like, oh, okay. This is where her whole plot against Arngrim starts to unfold here. But no, this is a totally different person. Dangerous cargo, eh? Ooh, that's suspicious. That agent agreed to that doubling of the price awfully quickly. You serious? Wow, it's almost like you don't expect me to survive this trip to pay up. Also, one other thing I like is that there will be a little bit of,
I don't know what that guy's up to.
Okay.
As long as I get my money, I could care less.
You can tell he's gonna join because he has a portrait and a voice. Badrak's story. Spoiler alert, Badrak's gonna die and join the party later on. Badrak's death is one of my favorite scenes in this game. I really, really like the Badrak death scene. But yeah, you'll see like a lot of crossover between the characters' stories. Like you'll see a character appear in one death scene. Actually, you'll see a lot of characters, a lot of recurring characters. You'll see characters who like fight alongside and against each other in various battles and wars. And like some of them die and some of them don't. Like just because we see Badrak on screen there, and just because he has a voice and a portrait, that doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna die and join us later on. He is, because I told you guys that already. But you don't necessarily know that. That's a good point. Yeah, one of her attendants probably got executed for that. Well, I guess the princess ain't coming. Oh yeah, minor nitpick, but you can see there's the bit of asymmetry on Arngrim's design. He's got the big metal glove on one hand. Yeah, but the sprite is mirrored. Yeah, he's got it on his right hand, his left hand. That's a little bit disappointing for a game with as great sprite art as this one has. Little bit disappointing that they just flipped the sprites for asymmetrical characters like that. I guess it's supposed to be on his right hand. Hey, Bio Billy, how's it going? Played this game 25 years ago? That's a long time. I've played it since then, but it's been a long time for me too. Certainly more than 10 years. Probably about 10 years. Probably about 10 years. Hey there, Hermit Gamer. Valkyrie Profile, don't see a lot of people play this nowadays. Is that true? I actually don't follow this game on Twitch, so I don't know how often people stream it, but this one was nominated for Viewer's Choice Day this month. So we're only playing the first couple hours here. Man, as much as it's my instinct to go around talking to people, because you get so many little details about the setting and like the politics of the kingdoms and stuff, if you take the time to talk to people. We've only got a couple hours with this game today, so I think I'm gonna try to speed towards whatever for the story. Oh, this isn't even lore build, like world building here. This guy's just teaching you about trapped treasure chests. Get a duck under those trapped chests. This game's got a long intro. A long intro. We might not even get through it in 2 hours. Actually, we're an hour in already. Holy shit. This game's more about the fights. It's interesting. I'm not sure that I entirely agree. I think this game has a very strong story. Oops. I can't remember where to go. I really like the storytelling in this game, and the epic death scenes, and the mechanics of it, and all of that. Or when I say mechanics, I mean like not the combat mechanics and the fights, but like the whole like sending your trained characters up to Asgard, like the overall structure of like the gameplay loop, and the like going from one chapter to another and sending people to Valhalla is really interesting. The whole premise of the game and the way that the gameplay systems like support all of that. Like you got the skill system to help give your Unheriar desired skills, to give you more good boy points when you send them up to Valhalla. It's like the gameplay systems integrate well with the premise of the story and the like training of the Unheriar for the war in Asgard. So that's seriously it? We just had to run around town a little bit and then come back home? I did play Indivisible. I actually streamed Indivisible. It definitely has a similar combat system. Like the Indivisible combat is clearly inspired by Valkyrie Profile. It's a little bit better in some regards. Like the combo making in that game is a bit more interesting. You've also got a few more options for like things to do with your characters, and also more defensive options. Timing is more important for optimizing your damage in Indivisible. I mean, overall, I was disappointed by Indivisible in the end. I don't think that game was well balanced. I found that the best way to approach combat was just to mash buttons most of the time. Like, you could optimize it by learning combos and doing proper timings, but the game was so easy it didn't really matter. The story was all right. I really liked the characters. Really liked the characters in Indivisible. The combat lacked depth. Like in Valkyrie Profile, there's a reason to combo enemies in different ways. Like you can go for juggles, I think it is, if you want to build meter. You can go for down attacks if you want to jack up your XP. Like you could have different combos for different purposes. In Indivisible, there isn't really a system like that. You're just always trying to maximize damage, and it's not that hard to maximize damage. I mean, characters are all different. Like, there's more character variety. Like, the way that you do your combos is different and more involved than Valkyrie Profile, but there's not a lot of variety. Like, the guard system from Valkyrie Profile, from what I remember, is gone. Like, sometimes Valkyrie Profile forces you to mix it up. Like, if the enemy guards, you've got to do a back attack or stagger your attacks to get through their guard. Indivisible, it felt to me like you could just do the same combos over and over and over again.
Vilnor was about a week's journey away along the Great Road.
Also, I hated the final boss of that game.
But the journey was uneventful, and by the third day we were halfway there.
Good analysis, thank you. The journey was uneventful until the third day, when it was suddenly eventful. That's a great looking horse. I like that horse. Oh, now we get to find out about that Lombert guy. I mean, you can grind in Valkyrie Profile, it's just, when you do, you're gonna lose the guy that you grinded up. It's like you can grind, like Arngrim's gonna stick around for the whole game, and Lenneth's gonna stick around for the whole game. You can jack them up all the way, but if they're, like, you know, you've got to train up the other characters too, so you can get your good boy points and not get the C ending.
The dust looked to have been kicked up by a group of Altorian cavalry.
Also, again, like I said,
it seemed like they were chasing
they
something
usually
that
do voice
I
acting
never
for
imagined it was us.
internal monologue here. Halt! Do we really have to do what this guy says? Like, I'm the great Arngrim. That room full of knights just stood by when their princess told them to execute me. Or execute Arngrim. I don't know why I think I'm Arngrim. I'm not Arngrim. I'm Valkyrie.
When I think about it now, I never should have agreed to take that package without knowing what was inside. It just wasn't like me.
He's been sitting around the house for a few days. He needs a job. Gotta make the money to support his crippled brother. Getting the best ending requires hoop jumping in this game? Yeah, I was not able to figure out how to get the best ending in this game back in the day. I had to use a guide. I think I could have done it if I were smarter. Like, if I were to come at this game blind today, like if I were to erase my memories of this game and come into it blind today with my current brain, I think I could figure it out. I think the hints are there. I don't think it's that bad, but it's not great. It's pretty tricky. They're just gonna let us run away? What? Oh my god, it's Princess Forehead.
Our parcel? It was that little tomboy princess.
Tomboy? I don't think that's accurate.
Jalanda.
I wouldn't say she's a tomboy. Looks like we have to wait till night. There is some pretty good English voice acting in this game, especially for the time. That's actually one of the things I was hoping for the PSP version here. I was hoping they would have dual audio so I could check out the Japanese voice acting, but it looks like it's still English only. But yeah, for the time this game came out, the English voice acting is fantastic. Maybe some of the best on the PlayStation. It's a bit mixed. Like, some characters are better than others. I think Arngrim's one of the better VAs in this game. That's an interesting detail, that Badrak is like, that Lombert is a usual client of Badrak's. We learn later on that Badrak's kind of a really shady dude. Like, he's a mercenary who does bad stuff. So that's interesting that Lombert is a regular customer of his. So now we found out that Artolia is... are they at war with Vilnor? I think they are. And yeah, Lambert is a Vilnor spy.
I'd have been quite happy to kill a stinking knave. But I've got more important things to do.
He's a stinking knave. I actually... Badrak's one of my favorite characters in this game. He sucks as a party member. He's kind of a joke character. Actually, he's good for combos. He does shit for damage, but he's great for combos. That's kind of his gimmick. Oh, wow, this is new. Oh, God. Oh, God. This is some Parasite Eve shit right here. Whoa! Jesus! So for the record, for those of you just joining us, I have never seen this before. This is new to the PSP version of the game. Like, this still... She turned into Diablo! Literally Diablo! Look at those teeth! I could do without that. So in the original game, that scene is just not there. Like, just cut it out. Just this scene runs uninterrupted. You hear screaming in the distance like this, and then they run up and there's the monster. That scene is completely absent from the original game. And in my opinion, I think this scene would be better off without it. I think that's a totally unnecessary addition. I think the artistry of these cutscenes, the kind of understated nature of them, is undermined by a scene like that. Like, originally, you don't know what's going on here. You hear the scream, you run in, there's the monster, and you don't know what's going on. They kind of ruined... they kind of ruined that with the, addition of that scene there. There we go. The captain said to give the princess the medicine. And that's the princess.
Lambert was playing two
Only we know that already because we saw that stupid scene.
He knew the abduction would be discovered, so he sent some medicine along with the search party. If we made it all the way to Vilnor, no problem. But if we were discovered, the cavalry would use the medicine. He knew the princess would be unconscious if she was found. The medicine's effect was as you see. The princess became a monster, and afterwards all were dead.
If you hadn't figured it out yet. If you hadn't figured out what they were dancing around there, the princess is the monster. It's a good scheme, I agree. Playing two hands. The good old, Xanatos Gambit. Ghoul Powder, that's not the last we'll hear of that. We'll see Ghoul Powder again later on in another great death scene. Ghoul Powder, nasty stuff. Necromancers use it. Remember that. Lambert's a necromancer. Man, he's a spy, he's a necromancer, he's a asshole. We gotta take this guy down. Oh, that's funny that he called her Angela there.
Maybe he made the right choice.
I'm glad you got that, Hermit
But
Gamer.
I wasn't going to
I'm
run.
glad that somebody got the reference.
Even on the field of battle, I'd never felt like this.
Lambert!
Lambert!
I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you.
Random lines in this game stick in my head.
But what will become of Jolanda?
Glassesless Lombard? I don't remember what he looks like. I don't remember Sans Glasses Lombard. Oh, hey, Valkyrie helping us out here. So here we see Valkyrie intervening a little bit. So this is the kind of thing that she interferes with. She's here to like basically like crimes against the gods, like things that go against nature. I know she says that a lot, like it's like unnatural being or whatever. Creatures of the darkness who defy the will of the gods. Like she's against necromancers. That's kind of an additional role of the Valkyries in this version of Norse mythology. Yeah, exactly. So that's the reason why she shows up. We'll see her do this consistently. We'll see her do this consistently throughout the game. Oh, also I forgot that we get Freya here. So here's Freya. Freya's better than us. Freya's like 2 or 3 times better than us. Also, she's got perfect defense. Okay, we're doing the damage here. We don't have enough for a super attack, though. That's very much on purpose here, I figure. God, the sprite animation is so good. The boss music here is so good. I love the battles in this game. They're a bit simplistic, but, you know, it'll get more interesting as we get through the game. Over attack! I love the way they turned that over attack thing into like a core system in Covenant of the Plume.
Is my greatest pleasure.
Like the way it keeps flashing in big letters, over attack, makes you think that that's an important thing. It's just a warning. It's just a big warning sign to let you know to stop mashing the buttons. But they turned the over attack thing into a core system of Covenant of the Plume.
It was through others' misfortune that I felt myself to be strong. That's right. I who was myself without morals. Who was I to judge others?
So I kind of get what they're going for here. The translation,
to look down on them
I feel like some of the subtlety of the writing is lost in translation a little bit, but like I kind of get what he means here.
I began to realize that the king and I were very
not just the king and him, but like the parallels between him and his brother too. His brother mentions how, oh, I love painting because it helps me escape this frail form, escape my own frailty. And then Arngrim says, hey, I like mercenary work. I like killing people. And then he realizes it's the same thing with me. I like mercenary work because it helps me feel powerful and escape my own weakness. It's like me and my brother are the same, and me are the king, and the king are the same too. All the same in our trying to escape our mortal frailty by indulging in trifles like art and mercenary work and being a douchebag king. I like Arngrim. It'll avail me to smash your face in. Again, the writing in this game isn't brilliant all the time. There's some clunky stuff here and some bits of conversation that don't quite make sense, but there's some good lines. There are some good lines in this game. Wait, are you saying Omae wa mou shindeiru? Nani? Literally. Nani? Arngrim's head explodes. Magic, Arngrim. Oh, this face right here? Let me show you. Arrgh! Oh, I see what you mean. So, like, on the sprite, he takes off his glasses, but on the portrait, he still has them.
You must save Arngrim, please.
Save? How do you think he might be saved?
I did not think it was possible for the princess's forehead to get any bigger, but there it is. She's gone full cue ball here.
By being allowed to continue to live, or by being chosen by me?
I can't remember her answer here. Oh, we don't get to hear her answer! That's kind of interesting. Like, I wonder if Jolanda just didn't answer, or if she just said, like, whatever, or if she specifically said, like, nah, kill the bastard. Nah, he hasn't suffered his 10,000 deaths yet. Put 1 on his scorecard. Take him up. Don't let him live. I wonder if it was something like that.
That's him! That's the man who betrayed me!
Yo! This is one of my favorite songs in the game, too. We hear it all the time, like at the end of almost any story scene when we confront the villain. This is the music that plays. And for good reason. This is a fucking great track. We have a little conspiracy here. I was just about to say, you're one to talk. You're one to talk, Four Eyes. Or I guess 6 eyes, since he's got glasses under his glasses, apparently. Defiler of Souls. Alright, here we go.
Come to me, Dark Warriors. Battle awaits us.
They don't actually play the standard boss music at all in this intro scene. Every single tutorial, or every single intro fight is considered a boss fight. Also, where the fuck did Freya go? So it turns out Lombert's a pretty weak necromancer. Oh yeah, that's true, yeah. Well, we'll see the skill system in a second. I love the skill system in this game. It's basically ripped straight from Star Ocean, but with some little details to it that make me like it even more. These guys suck. Man, I hardly blame them for not attacking him in the throne room when the princess said, kill him. Oh, that's why he doesn't get to become an Asgardian. He just, he's talking shit to the gods here? This is why Arngrim can't go to heaven. What if you wanted to go to heaven, but Arngrim said, fucking death goddess? That's right, Angela's going to heaven. Oh, I thought that he let him stab him. Oh, you think we're gonna get to see a final blast? We probably will. Oh, she will show us the way. Yeah, we'll have more than enough time to get to some real gameplay. So this guy's got a portrait and a unique sprite, but no name. Oh, I forgot about this. Maybe this is why Arngrim doesn't get to go to heaven, because he killed himself. I'm trying to think now. Do any of the other party members commit suicide? I'm not sure that they do.
Consider it a gift.
Oh no, the mermaid. The mermaid does.
It seems we'll be spending quite a bit of time together.
That it does, little one. Quite a bit indeed.
It wasn't by her choice? Maybe I'm misremembering the story. I thought she, like, swam into a whirlpool or something. I don't know, I thought she did something to kill herself. It's been a long time since I played this game. Nothing. Let's get out of here. Oh, I can't wait to see that. Huh. That might have flown over my head. Whatever you guys are talking about, that might have gone over my head. When I was a kid, and even the last time I played this game. Again, there's quite a bit of subtlety to a lot of these death scenes. Okay, so this is the other thing we can do with spiritual concentration. So it'll reveal new Einherjar who are about to die, so that you can add them to your party. I can't open the menu now, but we just got Arngrim and Jalanda to join us. And the other thing that it does, which is when you hear this music, is that it will reveal dungeons on the world map for you. So there's some kind of diablerie going on in the Artolian mountain ruins. Oh, I totally missed that. Yeah, I never got that. Wait a second. No, I think I did get that. Maybe I didn't quite get it. See, she wanted to be reunited with her parents. That's what she wanted. So I always took that to mean that, like, she swam off to kill herself. But I guess it was the kid's wish that actually did it. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I do remember that now. Okay, so now we're in control. Now we're more or less playing the full game here. Does anyone know how to go forward? What's the go forward button? That's not that one. It's not that one. Not that one. Guys? Oh? Oh, there we go. You gotta hold it down a little bit longer. I was just pressing it. If you just press it, not much happens. There we go. You gotta hold it down. Where are we going? Oh, okay, so that red dot on the map. Now, normally, you can do spiritual concentration a few times. Actually, can we open the menu? Oh, we can't yet. I don't even have access to the menu. I guess maybe only in the dungeons. So this game has kind of a unique time system, where the game is divided into a number of chapters, and you only have a certain number of periods in each chapter. Period is basically a unit of time. I think on hard mode, you get 12 periods per chapter, and each location you visit costs a period. A dungeon costs 2, a city or town costs 1. So it basically costs 1 time unit to recruit a character, or visit a town, or 2 periods to visit a dungeon. Now, you have more than enough time to do everything in each chapter, but if you game over in a dungeon, you get, or not game over, but if you get defeated, you get kicked out, and you have to spend more time to go back in. So there's no real game overs in this game. At least not until the end game, or not unless you get the C ending. But you will waste time and miss out on things if you get defeated too many times in a chapter. Yeah, I think that's right. I think some dungeons might cost more or less. Oh man, the dungeon exploration in this game too. The dungeons are so cool. Okay, so she's gonna follow us for this dungeon. This is basically our tutorial dungeon here. Hey, we can finally save our game. Tools can be created in a dungeon only in a memory camp. I actually don't even remember what that means. Create tools. Okay, so it's dungeon delving time. Where's the music? Where's the dungeon music? Also, everything's a bit stretched out from how I remember it. Maybe the PSP version wasn't the greatest idea. Oh well, it's good enough. So the dungeons, and the entire game for that matter, if you haven't noticed, are completely in 2D. The dungeons have a lot of, like, puzzle solving going on in them. Oh, Jolanda's got 300 DME. That's basically your hit points. DME, I think, is Divine Materialization Energy. It's basically what lets you maintain your physical form as a ghost. Basically, it's hit points. Why does Freya have so many when she's only level 2? Oh, it's because she's got good gear. Attack 300. Anyways. The music's not glitched out, is it? It'll start up in a second here. Yeah! This game has the best dungeon music out of any RPG. Like, not even close. Best dungeon music, hands down. Okay, so we got on-field encounters here. We can see the enemies in the field. We can jump around. Can I not walk in the dungeon? I don't think we have any items we can do anything with anyways. Yeah, Union Plume, Spectacles, Elixir. Don't need any of that shit. Let's just go. Can we see a monster, please, so I can show off a battle? Okay, so we got the sword. That's what we use to get the drop on the monsters. That ensures we get the first attack. We've also got these gems, which can do a few different things. You can use them to freeze monsters, or you can use them to create platforms. And those will be used to solve puzzles in the dungeons, which is really cool and interesting. I think I can lift these up. How do I lift these up? Okay, maybe you can't. I thought you could lift the broken crystal up over your head, but maybe I'm misremembering. So you can freeze monsters and use them as platforms. Or you can just kill them. We'll do that.
To my side, my noble Einherjar.
Yeah, Naniko. The music in this game is so good. So yeah, Freya's overpowered.
I grow tired of
Here we go.
finishing strike. Final blast.
Here we go. We can do another one. You want to see another one?
Dead already?
What does Freya's look like? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Ether Strike.
Divine Assault!
Man, she just loves teleporting around. She just teleported like 4 times there without doing anything. Just blink, 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 blink.
I am Freya. Recall the name on your journey to hell.
Oh, that's cold!
As expected, we are the victors.
Recall the name on your journey to hell. Nah, this is probably my 6th or 7th time playing this game. This one was requested for Viewer's Choice Day today, so we're only doing the first couple hours. This is kind of like my variety night here, where people spend channel points to watch me play games for a couple hours each. But yeah, this is one of my favorite RPGs. I've played this one. I've played it a few times. I haven't played it in a long time, though. It's been probably close to 10 years since the last time I played this. Fuck the bag. I want to fight that monster. Yeah, you can. That's right. You can propel yourself by blowing up the crystals. I'll show that off in a second. I forgot about that.
Uh-oh, we may be in trouble.
Damn! So what is even going on with this battle system? Okay, so... each character corresponds to a button. So like Jolanda's on the right, that's the circle button. Arngrim is bottom, that's X. So yeah, that's simple enough. You just press the button and they'll attack the monster that you're highlighting. As you attack enemies, you'll fill up that green gauge on the bottom. Once the green meter fills up, you get to do a special attack. Not very useful this early in the game, since we do more than enough damage to kill monsters. We'll just skip that. But very useful against bosses. Doing those attacks, though, will fill up your CT meter. And you have to wait several turns for that to deplete. If you juggle the enemies, that'll make them drop crystals, which will speed up the recovery of your CT gauge. So you can juggle enemies to get more frequent super attacks. Oh. Yeah! Oh yeah, that's right, the platforms too! The platforms, I forgot about that. So yeah, you can do a small crystal, big crystal, or blow up the crystal, and then it leaves like crystal dust that turns into a little platform. Okay, so it's down X. Eye of Heaven, what do we do with that? Do I walk when you're a goddess? I guess. I could have sworn that she had a walking animation. I thought there was a button you could press to do a walk. Maybe I'm misremembering. Oh, that's a relic, isn't it? Oh no, enables you to see areas of the current dungeon you haven't visited. Ooh! I'm just gonna use that. I'm just gonna use that for fun. Let's have a look at the dungeon. Where's the map? What's the map button? R1, there we go. So that's a map of the whole dungeon. It's not that big. It's a little bit tricky to make use of. So the dungeon is multi-layered. There are different layers of the dungeon. You'll kind of go into the foreground or background. Select. On this version, it's R. On this version, it's R1. Yeah, I don't know what select does.
To my side, my noble Einherjar.
These beasts will be a good
this
test.
guy. Battles in this first dungeon are kind of a joke. Freya is just overpowered. Freya is cheat mode.
Get thee hence.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for us, we'll maybe see later on. Freya's really powerful. Like, you guys, she's even more powerful than we're seeing in the, like, in battles here. Like, our girl's holding back on us a little bit, which kind of irritates me. Iron Barred Key, there we go. Oh, I could have sworn there was some way to lift the crystal above your head. Oh well, doesn't matter. Not useful. Anyways, sword or bow Lenneth? I'm boring. I prefer the sword. I know the bow's got better animations, but the sword just does more damage. The sword does more damage. The bow's better for building combos, though. You get more hits with the bow. Lenneth's actually a good bow user. She's got... Most of the archers in this game, I think, are kind of bad. Like, there's, what, Badrak and Laufer have pretty shitty attacks. Lenneth is just about the only bow user, but good bow user. She's got strong bow attacks. Like, that do good damage and do good combos. Belinus, oh, Belinus is great. I actually think Belinus was part of my end game party the first time I played this game. I think I carried him right to the end. Llewyn, that's it. Yeah, Llewellyn. Yeah, that's it. Not Loffer, Llewellyn. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Arngrim reminds you of Guts. Yeah, I think that's the idea. I think he's like a... I mean, there are so many Guts-inspired characters in, like, every anime and RPG. Langrisser has a character who's just Guts, straight up. Like, he's got the same sword, same haircut, same look. Yeah, fuck the ladder, just jump down. Whoa. Oh yeah, so okay, we're kind of stuck down here, unless you know how the crystals work. We haven't gotten the crystal tutorial yet, but you know, I know how crystals work. Ooh.
We may be in trouble.
Oh yeah, so right, if you don't ambush the enemy, if you don't slash them, then you start out with 1 CT on your gauge. Magic costs CT, so we can't use Jolanda right now. She's got to recover that 1 CT before we can use her. That's another thing that juggling enemies is good for, is it lets you use spells more often. Not that it matters here, because this first dungeon is kind of a joke. See ya. Oh, Alia's a good shout-out. I like Alia quite a bit. She's the dragon lady, right? Alia's the red-headed dragon lady?
Well, they were rather annoying.
I liked... Fuck, what's his name? The Evil Sorcerer. The Evil Sorcerer who has the same voice as Loki, but isn't actually voiced by the same guy as Loki. He's dressed in red, he's an old man. What's his name? I can't remember. Oh, now she teaches the crystals. Gondar, that's it. Yeah, Gondar. Gondar cracked me up. It's like, you know that in these games, they only have so many voice actors, so you have a lot of voice actors pulling double, triple, quintuple duty, voicing, like, multiple different characters in the same game. And sometimes you can kind of hear it. Sometimes you kind of hear that 2 characters have very similar voices. And I had thought that was the case with Gondar the first time I played this game. Gondar's voice sounds almost exactly like Loki, so I'm like, oh, that's a bit lame. The Loki voice actor could have at least tried to put on a different voice for this character. And then I saw the end credits, and it turns out that Gondar is a different voice actor. Gondar is actually a totally different person from Loki's voice actor. They just sound extremely similar, the way they voice those 2 characters.
To my side, my noble Einherjar.
No mercy.
Okay, I wonder if Freya can one-shot one of these guys. Ah. Oh, the samurai. Yeah, what is it? It's Suo, and I forget the other guy. I never liked Suo, but I liked the 2 swords guy. His special racks up a lot of combo hits. Oh yeah, so the hits thing is a thing too. So the green meter fills up to give you special moves, and then the more hits you get in your combo, the more damage you deal. It's something like 1% or 0.5% bonus damage per hit in the combo. Yeah, Senkujin! Yeah, I love that special. Yeah, like his basic attacks are difficult to hit with. Like, he's not great for DPS. But yeah, his super is, yeah, really good for racking up hits. I don't think it builds up that much meter. I don't think it actually builds up that much meter, but it's good for getting hits. Jumping controls are a bit tricky in this game sometimes. I've forgotten how they were. Whoa. There we go.
To my side, my noble
So a lot of
Untitled
dungeons have little puzzles in them.
These beasts will be a good test.
Often side puzzles for treasure. Also, a lot of the time you'll get bonus experience for solving puzzles. Bonus experience works basically the same way as it does in Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, where it's like a shared pool of experience that you can distribute to anyone in the party you want. It's a good way to level up characters on hard mode, where all your characters join at level 1.
To my side, my noble Einherjar.
Woo, that's a lot of dudes.
We may be in trouble.
Oh god. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. You stole all the artifacts? How can you do that? How can you steal Odin's artifacts? That's so lame. I did the opposite. My first time through the game, I would always return the artifacts because I was afraid of getting the bad ending. As it turns out, it's pretty easy to just take all the artifacts. It's pretty easy to just steal all the artifacts and still meet the requirements to avoid the bad ending. There we go. And yeah, there's some really good stuff. Some really, really good stuff among the artifacts. So anyone who doesn't know this game might not understand what we're talking about. So there's a lot of systems that this game hasn't introduced yet, and which it won't introduce until a little bit later, probably further on beyond where we'll play today. Basically, at the end of each chapter in the game, you'll receive an evaluation based on how happy Valhalla, how happy Odin is with your performance. So your goal is to train Einherjar and send them to Valhalla to fight in Ragnarok. And you will receive a grade based on how happy Odin is with how you did with all that. So like the stronger the Einherjar you send up, the more their skills align with what Freya's requirements for the chapter, the happier he'll be and the more items you get in return. You'll get a higher ranking that way. If your ranking is low enough, you'll get the bad ending where Freya just kills you. So yeah, if you don't keep Odin at least somewhat content, then Freya just comes down from Valhalla to murder you, and you get the bad ending. We're gonna save up our XP, our bonus XP, on this playthrough, because on hard mode you need that to level up your new party members. Oh, can we not get up here? Oh yeah, one other thing is there's this other number. So we can see our stat sheet here. We got our DME, Strength, Intelligence, Agility, Dexterity. I don't actually know the difference between Agility and Dexterity. I'm guessing it's hit and evade. Attack, reduce damage, which is your defense. You also get a little bio of the character here. One of the 3 goddesses of fate, whose role it is to decide a person's fate after death. One of the goddesses of fate who decides a person's fate. That's great. A mid-level goddess of the 6th rank. Her true name is Lenneth Valkyrie. So you see our characters have a hero value. That's basically their value to Asgard. We want to jack that value up and send Asgard people with high hero value. Arngrim here has a negative hero value. He's a shitty hero. He fights like a demon possessed. Asgard don't want no demons. So like Freya is a goddess. She doesn't have a hero value. Actually, almost everyone who joins you has negative hero value. you can increase that by giving them skills. So actually, let's do that. We've got some CP here. Oh, never mind. Actually, I might want some of these. Raise int. That's pretty good for a mage. Survival's pretty good, too. 200 DME is a lot for this stage in the game. I might actually give her that for now. Fighting Spirit, that's pretty good, too. Maybe teach her Trick. So we will learn new skills from skill books over the course of the game. And one other neat little thing is some characters start with certain skills that kind of align with their personality and history, which is also pretty neat. I'm actually going to hold off on this for now. Or, I don't know, we can do First Aid, I guess. Nah, she's not going to take a lot of hits. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. They have personality traits. This is the main way that you adjust your hero value, is you gotta work on your personality. So yeah, Jolanda is cute, loves dad, stout, and optimistic. Those are her good traits, and you can level those up to give her more hero points. And but she's also snobbish, shallow, foolhardy, and is naive. And I just love this. We get a little personality profile of each character, and like you can improve their skills to give them better combat stats, or you can improve their personality to make them more godly and more fit to send up to Valhalla. I love that. Rank 8 in snobbishness is too low. I think 8 is the maximum. I think 8 is the maximum. What's Armgrim got? Yeah, Armgrim's a level 8 selfish and level 8 cool-headed. Cool-headed is bad. You don't want to be cool-headed. I don't know if hero value has any other impact on the game. So Arngrim can't be sent to Valhalla no matter what. He is, according to Freya, unfit to reign in Valhalla. Doesn't belong with the Asgardians. So I don't know if there's any benefit to improving his personality. Also, is it a rule that you're not allowed to send up people with negative hero value? Maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's a game system thing. Where since his hero value will never go positive, maybe that's the reason he can't be sent up. It's somewhere in the 10 range. You know what? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go fight. Because Arngrim can't be sent up anyways. So yeah, let's improve his fight skill. Give him some stats. Also, Lenneth obviously can't be sent. Whoops. I keep doing this. Because the PSP doesn't have an L2 button. Let's give Valkyrie the same. Everyone should get fight. Everyone who can't go to Valhalla will fight. Freya's not even going to stay with us. Oh, she has a lot of points for some reason. Now, I think First Aid is just on her... Oh no, cannot cure self. There we go. Freya is like the goddess of fertility and stuff. She's a support character. Let's jack up her First Aid. She can heal us. Jolanda I'm gonna wait on, because we might want to send her up this round. Oh yeah, so our evaluation, that's Odin's grade. Right now, Odin's given us a perfect score. Oh yeah, so the other thing I was gonna show off. Valkyrie here. So yeah, Arngrim's got a hero value. Jolanda's got a hero value. Freya doesn't, because she's a goddess. She's gonna leave the party right away anyways, though. Valkyrie's got something called a seal value. Nothing in the game explains what that number does. That is a secret number that you have to figure out what it does. It's related to the best ending in the game. In general, the same things that lower your evaluation will also lower your seal value. And there are also story events that will lower the seal value. But the game never explains what that number is. You have to figure it out for yourself. And indeed, that is what makes it difficult to get the good ending. So, I'm just going to explain it, since, I don't know, it's a 20-year-old game. So the seal value, they have... It's something you have to figure out. You have to use a bit of intuition. And a bit of inference to figure it out. There are several things in the story of this game that strongly suggest that that Lenneth used to be Platina, and that she has lost her memories of her human life. For some reason, they turned this human girl who died a tragic death into a Valkyrie. I don't think they ever fully explain why Platina in particular was chosen to become Valkyrie, but Valkyrie has no memory of her human life. There are several hints throughout the game that that suggest that her memory has been sealed by Odin.
These beasts
And
will be a good test.
that's what the seal value represents. So in order to get the best ending, you need a low seal value.
I grow tired of you.
Yeah, to get the good ending, you have to awaken Valkyrie's memories by keeping a low seal value. The trick is, though, that doing things that keep Odin happy will raise the seal value. Like if you try to play the way the game tells you to play, and go for rank, and try to keep Odin happy, that'll raise your seal value. That's bad if you're going for the good ending. You want to keep a low seal value to awaken your memories. So you kind of have to go against what the game tells you to do that. So it's like the game kind of tears you in two directions, and that's what makes it tricky.
Is it over?
Oh, do you actually miss the good ending if it goes too low? I actually didn't know that. There's a magic number. I think it's like 68 or something. I think you have to keep the seal value below 68. If you miss out on the good ending by keeping it too low, I did not know that. Vegetable mold. Yeah, it's 37 or 38 or something. Yeah, jumps in this game can be tricky sometimes. Okay, so we slashed that pillar earlier, and that's going to lower it up here so that we can get up into this room. Whoop. There we go, and that's how we get this treasure chest. Ah! How much did that hurt? It hurt a little bit. We're still fine. Freya's gonna carry us anyways, so who cares? Can I make this jump? I actually don't think I can. Yup. Ah. Okay. Damn it. Okay, that should work. That should work. Oh, we can't go through that one. Okay, I think we do it like this. Yeah! Oh, this is a fun game. Dungeon exploration in this game is so fun. Yeah, you gotta use the crystal. Freya doesn't teach you that one. Or at least she hasn't taught us yet. I don't know if Freya teaches you that trick. Damn. I mean, there's a few ways you can do this. I think the way I did it as a kid was like this. Oh, you can also just jump it, I guess. I guess if you just don't suck at this game, you can jump it. Yeah, okay, that works, that works. There we go. Treasure search. I think that's an accessory. Oh yeah, so you've got 2 decorations and 3 possessions. Warns the wearer of the presence of treasure. When equipped, a blue mark will appear. Only Valkyrie can equip it. Well, let's equip it then. And that's our reward. Like, not only do we get the bonus experience for slashing the pillar, we also get that cool item. How are we doing on dungeon exploration right now? I missed something on the top right. I think we'll get there later, maybe? Actually, no. Actually, I feel like I messed up. I mean, we can always come back here later. It'll cost us time, but we can come back here later.
Uh-oh, we may be in trouble.
Oh yeah, the characters have different lines, depending on the combat situation, too. Like, I think they have different quotes for, like, a regular battle, a tough battle, or an easy battle.
Well, they were rather annoying.
Oh, also I think I got the crystals wrong. I think you went to juggle for XP gems, and do down attacks for CP recovery gems. We don't have a lot of options for attacks right now. Later on, you can equip different equipment. You can equip different weapons to give yourself more combo hits for each character. Right now, each character only gets to attack once per turn. If we get better weapons, you can attack up to 3 times. You can set up a little combo.
Now die and be silent.
You can also customize your combos and like change the orders of the attacks you do. Right now, though, we just got the one. So like the combat system opens up a fair bit later on. Not a ton, like it's always very simple, but it gets more interesting later on. Right now, it's extremely simple. Right now, this is like iconoclast level of simple. You just mash the buttons to win.
Ether strike.
Oh, the Nibelung. Oh, yeah, that's right. There was the thing with the Nibelung ring that affects your seal value, too.
I am Freya. Recall the name on your journey to hell.
Love that line.
This is divine.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah, check this out. Oh, never mind. Never mind. She doesn't have great magics. Oh!
It shall be engraved
What?
upon your soul.
Also, yeah, they all have different quotes for when they fail to kill enemies with their special. You still breathe?
You have no
Valkyrie's
hope of
special
survival.
evolves over the course of the game. If you get better weapons for Valkyrie,
As
she'll get
expected,
more
we
hits
are the victors.
tacked on to the end of her combo. Hey, level up. So magic is a bit different. So like each of the regular fighters has their own unique special attack. The mages all have a common pool of spells. Like all of the mages cast the same spells, or can have access to the same spells. And each spell has a great magic spell associated with it. So if you do a special, but you need specific magic rods to do the great magic. If you don't have one of those special rods equipped, you'll just do a triple of your basic spell. So right now I don't have a super magic rod. So instead of getting Ifrit Caress, which is the Firestorm's super magic, or great magic, we just cast Firestorm 3 times. Most of the great magic rods are actually breakable. Yes, so great magic is really powerful. Really, really powerful. Like, it will one-shot most enemy groups in the game. And do extreme damage to bosses. But most magic rods that can use great magic have a chance to break when you use them. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can. Yeah, so there's a menu in combat. I almost never use it.
Souls have been released.
Later on, it'll be more helpful to do. But yeah, you can access a combat menu to like use different spells, cast healing and buff magic. Can we do that right now? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. What button? Okay, select to bring up the combat menu, and this is how we use items, change equipment, or we can do magic. So there's like one spell that you equip, that's your main spell, that you cast when you press the button for that character, doing combos, but you also have access to your full spell list. So yeah, she has a heal spell, which will heal the party for a lot. She can also cast magic, cast offensive magic from that menu, but you can't combo this way. And yeah, it casts in the center, so you hit the whole enemy group. I forgot about that. So yeah, there's a few other things you can do in combat. There's lots of combat items in this game too. Lots of different items that'll debuff enemies, buff your party, do various things. Items can do various things in combat in this game. Like, why do I even give a fuck about these platforms? There we go. I'll just climb to the top that way. This is a big climb. Oh! It's a long way back down if I fuck this up. Hey! Now how many of these are trapped? Probably the big one. Probably the big one. Yo! So what did we actually just get there? So I think some of these items just don't do anything. CP. That's capacity, that's skill points. I'm gonna save that. We'll want to use that on someone that we're gonna send up to Valhalla. Oh yeah, some of this stuff we could just sell. Oh yeah, so divine item. There are no shops in this game. Gods have no use for mortal tools. Instead, you materialize items using materialize points. So you can convert items to materialize energy and synthesize the items yourself. It's basically a store. Like, Valkyrie is basically her own store. I think you can that's what they were trying to tell us at the start of the dungeon. You can only materialize items at save points and at the world map. Only reason for Lyceria over Gondar is the Unicorn Wand. Yeah, so late in the game, you'll get access to wands that, unbreakable wands that give you great magic. Where the fuck are we going? Whoa. So, like, this ain't even the way. This ain't even the way to the boss. This is all just a detour. Oh, also, yeah, there are martial weapons that are breakable as well. Mostly the Slayer weapons, which deal tons and tons of bonus damage to certain types of enemies. Like the Dragon Slayer, just, like, one-shots dragons. But those weapons have a chance to break as well. Not even if you use your special, just like every time you use them, they have a chance to break. Is this right? Did I miss something down there? I did. I did miss something down there. We want to go in the big room. Oh, that was the room where I destroyed the pillar. I turned back because I knew there was a bonus item up above. But we had to walk through the pillar room, I think. God, I'm so bad at navigation in general, but specifically in this game, too. There we go. So that wasn't like an optional puzzle. That's right, the stairs here. I forgot. Whoops. Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta slide. We can slide, guys. Whoops. Slid too far.
To my side, my noble
Slid
Einherjar.
a little bit too far. Yo. We're gonna get some cool combat skills later on, too. Like, some combat skills will give you new things to do in combat, like do counterattacks when you evade. Actually, mages get, like, little birds that let them attack when their spells are on cooldown.
Ether strike! To stand against a god.
Actually, the
Such
mage's
a reward.
familiars are actually extremely good. They don't do a lot of damage, but they're unblockable, which lets you get around enemies that have a high guard chance.
It shall be engraved upon your soul.
Nibalang Velesti.
Divine assault. Nibalang Velesti. You have no hope of survival.
There we go, one special on each of these guys. Maybe I should have firestormed all of them. Yeah, whatever. We're fine. Ooh. Yeah.
Did you think you could defeat me?
I don't know, should I spend something on Jolanda? Nah, I'm gonna save her skill points. Whoops. Whoa. Okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, there's more stuff up here. So, let's get up here. Wait, what are we doing? Oh, you know what we're doing. You know what we're doing. Ride the crystal platform is what we're doing. Yeah.
To my side, my noble Einherjar.
No quarter.
It takes quite a few chapters for this game to really get going. Like, we're gonna see mostly easy dungeons for most of the early game, especially on hard mode. The difficulty ramps up in the mid to late game.
As expected, we
Because on
are the
hard
victors.
mode, all of your new party members join at level 1. That's not a big deal in the early game. It's like, oh no, he's joining at level 1, but my guys are level 6, so who cares? Later on, when your guys are like level 30, then it's a bit more of a detriment to have to train them up from scratch. Whoops. That's where the bonus experience comes in handy. Okay, I think that to the right here is where the treasure is. It's like the classic RPG game of which way is the treasure and which way is the exit. It's like whichever way is the way to the boss, I want to not go that way. I want to go every way except the right way. I want to go every way in the dungeon except for the right way until we've gone all the other ways. Yeah, you can see that the early game difficulty is kind of a joke. I think this might be fairly deliberate on the developer's part, The way they kind of slowly ease you into the game. This game is very unusual in just every aspect. There is almost nothing about this game that is typical of other RPGs. It's just so different in every way, so unique. I think they made it very, very simple at the start on purpose to kind of ease you into it.
Their souls have been released. We have no reason to remain here.
Like I mentioned, the great magic, the way that like great magic can one-shot enemy groups. Later on in the game, enemies will use great magic on you, usually as a desperation attack, like usually when they're low on health. So you have to strategize around that. You have to use like buffs or interesting. So this blue thing means that there's another treasure in this room. But I don't know where it is. Oh, it's down below. Oh, where is it? What the fuck is this? Having trouble with the controls here. It says there's more room down below there. How is that possible? How did we get down there? I forgot about this. I don't remember this at all. Oh, this is gonna drive me nuts. This is gonna drive me nuts. Is there a teleporter? Is it a teleporter to get down there? It says there's a treasure. It says there's treasure. I think I'm just gonna ignore it for now. It's getting late. Oh, you think go come in from the front? Oh, you're probably right. Yeah, there it is. Oh, you know what? I missed the door. I missed a door earlier. Yeah, I totally missed that. I didn't even notice that we could have exited from the right there. Whoops. Well, that was my bad. Maybe we'll come back here later to get that. It's getting a bit late. I want to finish this dungeon soon so I can go to bed and not be tired at work tomorrow. I think this is the exit. Yeah, this is the exit right here. That's really weird. It's animated on the left there. You can see like it, I don't know what that is, like shadows on the banner there? I don't know, realistically, are we coming back here? As long as you don't die, you have more than enough time to complete each chapter. Like, usually I'll just rest and do nothing to finish off each chapter. Usually you have enough time left to rest, like, you know, 6 periods in a row or whatever it takes to finish the chapter. Ooh. I mean, these are cheap. These are cheap as hell. I might as well make them. Let's just make them to see if they're any good. Okay, so we got a new sword for Valkyrie. That's worse than the one we have already. Oh, that's interesting. So you see those numbers in the left there, 1, 2, 3, XXO. That tells you what combo hits you get. So the Antler Sword does Valkyrie's first attack in her combo. The Viking Sword does the third attack, which I don't actually remember what it is. I think it's what? Uppercut, slide, and I forget what the third one is. This one's got low attack trust and low attack. I don't know why you would want this sword. This sword sucks. But whatever, we bought it because I'm stupid. Interesting. This has the same stats. Fire resistance? I guess we'll take it. Oh hey, this one's actually better. Can Ongrim wear that? Oh no, he can't. You know, I think that the equipment that you materialize is largely only equipable by Valkyrie. Oh, there we go. So so this is Arngrim's second combo hit on the two-handed sword. The Hackblade is a third combo hit, so this is going to give him a third, or a different attack animation. I think this one does, like, big knockback to the enemy. So that's actually going to make it somewhat more difficult to combo with. Can I not change characters? Like, the shoulder buttons do nothing here. Ah, well. We got nothing for her. Well, I guess Valkyrie's the only one who gets to wear this. Good enough for me. What else have we got? It's weird to me that the game considers these two to be equivalent. Is Valkyrie's third combo hit that good? Ah, forget it. Do not want. I think we're good. I think we're all done. Okay, let's save, and we'll do the boss fight. If we're lucky, they might not teleport us out of the dungeon after this, and I might get to backtrack and get some of the stuff we missed. What is this? Oh, so this is like an auto-resurrector, I think. Alright, let's just go in. Oh, that's interesting. I forgot about this. You can do combo practice. Okay, this lets you arrange your mage's spells and your character's combos. We have no options here, since each character's weapon only has one attack available to it. Oh, what kind of options do we have? Oh, let's do fast attack speed for starters. Oh, double tap to walk. That's weird. That works for me. Can't remember if we saved. I might have just saved, but we'll save again. Alright, boss time. This should be just as easy as any of the regular fights, to be honest. Hey, confronting the villain. Play, what's this song called? Does anyone remember? It's got a weird title. A lot of the songs in this game have weird titles. This is Turn Over a New Leaf, rhythm version. I love the vampire design in this game. I don't know what it is. I think these vampires look cool. Abomination, you have no place in this world. Oh, that's right, Freya's gonna sit out of this one. Alright. Witness my power, baby. Oh, this will allow you to do the triple combo attack. We get the Reader Palash. The Reader Palash.
Come to me, dark
Oh, that boss
warriors.
music.
Battle awaits
Oh, he's got
us.
dragon friends. Oh, this is our, our guard break tutorial. Yeah, so actually Guard Crush is a bit more interesting than the game tells you in the tutorial. There are several ways to get around the enemy's guard. The simplest way to do it is to just do attacks that can't be blocked. Another way is to just mash buttons. Another way is to get behind them and get around their guard like that. Ugh. Yeah, that spell animation with the finger snap. I love that. Maybe we'll ignore that guy. Okay, so magic ignores guard, so we can just firestorm him. Arngrim? Oh, I must have killed him before Arngrim got his turn. Anyways, those guys are easy. Big oof. Oh, I should have done Arngrim
Finishing strike.
later. Oh well.
Final blast.
So each super attack builds up a different amount of meter.
This is divine punishment!
So like, and each one you use depletes the meter more. So like your first one, you go down to 60, then whoops, then
Shall be
40.
engraved upon your soul. Divine assault.
So you want to start with supers that don't build that much meter. Yeah, we one-shotted that guy. Easy. One round. Oh, okay, and so if you have a 3-hit combo weapon, you get the last hit of Nibelung Velesti, which does more damage than the rest of it combined, I think.
Their souls have been released. We have no reason to remain here.
Still haven't been able to get any magic gems. Alright, give me the goods. I got a sealed box. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Beep, 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 beep. Caution, this item is an artifact. All artifacts are the rightful property of Lord Odin. Return it, or a valuation level will drop. I don't even know what this does, but I want it. Evaluation -5. 100 event XP. Oh, I'm not giving him a sword. I'm not giving Odin a fucking sword. No, give me that. Give me that. Yeah, so you can see our evaluation has dropped to 90. And our seal value has dropped to 98. I think that's actually what it started at. So what's that new sword we got? Jeweled Blade Grimwrist. Oh, it only has one attack. Oh no, Freya took back her sword. Freya did not let us keep that 3-hit combo weapon. I guess I'll use this then. This sword's not that good. Wish you found another game of this kind, this ambience. I know, right, Naniko? There's nothing like it. That's one of the reasons why this game is one of my favorites. There's really nothing even close to it. Look at that red moon in the background. Look at that. I didn't even notice that before. That's so good. That is good atmosphere. Yeah, you nailed it. This ambience, this atmosphere. It's so good. But yeah, like this dungeon music. What other game has dungeon music that sounds like this? I mean, Star Ocean sometimes, but not that often. Also, the music changes. The music changes once you've cleared the boss. This is our triumphant music. Oh, you just beat the first stage of Shredder's Revenge. No hit. Congrats. I still don't have that one. I still don't have that achievement. Can we get out of here? Oh, there we go. So, we want to go down, left, then down, then right. Yeah, that's kind of what it is, Hermit Gamer. It's like, as games got more expensive, game companies are just less able to take risks and try new and unique things. It's a shame, but, you know, it's what it is. Man, those things is always fucking trapped. There we go. Ooh! I wish I'd have had that before the boss. I believe that that is a great magic scepter. 50% chance of breaking allows... So that's a bit misleading. That break chance only applies if you use great magic. So you can see this element scepter has great stats on it. So we can just put that on her, and now her basic Firestorm spell will be amazing. Also, she gets magic resistance off of this. As long as I don't use that great magic, she'll be fine. And, you know, if we get in a tough fight, then fuck it, we can break the staff to get big magic. But yeah, that's very misleading. That's very misleading, the way that it says that it has a 50% chance to break. It only breaks if you use the great magic. You did no hit more than X times on the Zoo stage. Nice. Have you done Super Shredder yet? I know Vasil was working on that one. I actually tried it a couple times. I came close. I came close to getting no damage on stage 12. Fire Lance! That's a new spell. That's a new spell for Jolanda, or whoever I want to teach it to. Now, I forget if all of my mages learn that spell forever now, or if only one person gets to learn it. I don't remember. Okay, magic is a single item that is only acquired by one person only. Skills are learned by everyone. Okay, so the Fire Lance only goes to one person. We'll probably hold on to that. And with that, I think, yeah, we've cleared the dungeon. That's everything. It's a little bit lame, the way that it forces you to walk out of the dungeon on foot after you beat the boss. Oops. Oops. That's fine. It's all good. We've cleared the dungeon. I think it clears out the enemies after you beat the boss. This is more of a victory lap. It's like, you know, you beat the boss, now go back and grab the treasure if you missed anything. Or was this the way? Was this the way? This is the way. How do I get back up, though? Man, the controls in this game are a lot clunkier than I remembered. Like, it's fine, you can learn it. But yeah, it's not as intuitive as I had remembered. Jumping's really tricky in this game. Which is fine, you know, it's an RPG. Man, I just got that new staff and now I can't even use it. There's nothing to use it on. Oh, also this dungeon is not that big, so who cares? We're gone, baby. I'm gonna save right away anyways once we get out of here. We shall not meet for some time. I mean, yeah, provided that I don't just tank my ranking to get the bad ending. I could show you guys the bad ending right now. All we have to do is just pass. All we have to do is just pass time and do nothing, and eventually our rank will just get tanked down to the point where Freya yells at us and kills us. Oh, she's got one more thing for us. This is like the most important part, and she just kind of glosses over it. Oh, by the way, you gotta send a sign Harriar. Oh yeah, I'm done too. I am done too for the night, Hermit Gamer. We're gonna pack it in right after this scene. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. It's been nice talking to you too. Have a good night, or whatever time of day it is where you are. Yeah, so this is basically her telling us everything that I just said. At the end of each chapter, we get an evaluation. You'd better have sent your Einherjar since then, or else you're going to be in big trouble. Oh, there's only 8 chapters. I thought there were 12. Man, this game might be shorter than I remembered. I think there are... Oh yeah, here we go. That warrior. I don't think he's suited to become a hero. I actually don't know what this means. If you don't understand the plan for the training of the Anheriar, or for the battle, then ask him, her, your questions. Oh, ask this fairy. Okay, ask this fairy. Okay, so she kind of goes over it briefly, kind of gives you the vague gist of the flow of the game, but this fairy will tell us all the details. I thought that him, her referred to the Einherjar there. It's like, what? I can talk to my Einherjar? But she's talking to this, yeah, weird gender-neutral pixie here. Okay, so this is where they're telling you how you have to improve your Einherjar's personality to turn them into good, god-worthy warriors for Asgard. Okay, and so this is them telling us that it's not just their personality, how strong your character is. Basically their overall stats impact how much Odin will like them, how many good boy points you get for sending them to Valhalla. You gotta improve their personality, but you also gotta make them strong and also give them good gear. That's it? Yeah, I thought he had more to say. Oh yeah, so you can return to this dungeon in later chapters. I forgot about this. So in any chapter, you can return here and talk to this person, this little fairy, and they'll remind you of what personality or what skills that Freya wants you to train for the Einherjar that you send her, and also the minimum acceptable hero value. So in this chapter, we have to have a hero value of 40 for Freya to be happy with the god candidates that we send her. What did we say again? There doesn't seem to be anyone with the ability that is needed. If there is someone who has some amount of that ability, no problem. I don't know what this means. This seems like a mistranslation to me. Basically, Freya doesn't have any particular requirements for what skills she wants us to train. Like, in some chapters, she'll be like, send us archers, or send us someone who knows how to swim. Like, she'll have specific requirements, which you can fulfill by training their skills. Whoa! I don't think we need this. I think I can come back for that later. And then, of course, the final puzzle for how to get out of the dungeon. Do you remember how crystals work? Yeah, I remember how crystals work. That's it. That's the intro of Valkyrie Profile. I kind of took my time with it, but yeah, that was 2.5 hours. I'm actually glad that I saved this to the end. We would not have finished that intro dungeon if I had not taken the extra time for it. So now, that was all Chapter 0. We just finished Chapter 0. They said that there's 8 chapters in the game. We just finished Chapter 0. So we got 8 more to go after this. I think that intro sequence doesn't give a great impression of what the game is about. Like, most recruitment scenes will not be nearly as involved as the one for Arngrim and Jolanda. Most of the time, it's just you watch a little, like, 4 or 5 minute scene, and then you get a new character, and then you do a dungeon. Like, we could probably clear a full chapter in about, or I don't know, we could probably clear 2 dungeons in the time that we took today. Like, the story, this game doesn't waste a lot of time with story, the way it does in the intro. Also, can you guys see that? The little, like, starburst coming out of the start button there? Start, time for a rest. It's like pressing the start button with excitement down there or something. Anyways, this was a great day. This was a great viewer's choice day. Man, I forgot how much I liked this game. Like, honestly, just based, or I don't know, I had a great time with Grandia too. I was gonna say, maybe this one surpasses Grandia for me, but like, the first 2.5 hours of Grandia were really fucking good too. Honestly, based on the first 2.5 hours, I think that Grandia has this game beat hands down, but man, is there a lot of great stuff that I really love about this game that I had forgotten about. Bravely Default was fun. Freedom Planet. Freedom Planet was such a joy to play. Billy Hatcher was cool until that one shitty level. Hopefully it was just that one shitty level, but Billy Hatcher was really cool. And Mario and Luigi continues to impress. We had 2 really cool boss fights. Really, really cool boss fights in Mario and Luigi. So, for next month, this is subject to change, but next month, on the chopping block, we got Panzer Dragoon Saga, Vandal Hearts, Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals, Breath of Fire 3, lots of RPGs again next month, Twisted Metal Black, and the Bloodborne Demake. That's going to be at the end of July. Last Friday of July is going to be the next Viewer's Choice Day. And then this week, God willing, I don't think we have any new releases coming up. I've been doing nothing but new releases the last couple weeks. We did Ninja Turtles, we did Sonic Origins. Finally, we're planning to get back to Berwick Saga next week. I don't think I have anything else planned. There's nothing else on the agenda. I think we're going to do Berwick Saga Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I am eager to get back to that. So, y'all can look forward to that. And if I can make time after work, maybe we'll get back to Kingsfield as well, because we made progress on Kingsfield yesterday, and that was also really fun. Man, what a good week. What a good... the week got off to a shitty start. They ruined Soldiers, and then Sonic Origins kind of sucked. I mean, it's Sonic, so it's good, but it's kind of a shitty version of Sonic. But then everything else was kind of fucking great. Today was great. Kingsfield was fucking great. Sonic was fun, even though it was a version of Sonic with shitty audio. And then next week we got Berwick Saga. So look forward to that. Thanks again for watching. Have a great night. And I'll see you guys next time.